Welcome, boys and girls, to Allstars Cooking. I'm Mr. Chris, and this is Mr. Chris. Today, we're going to learn how to make meatballs. So pay close attention. Don't worry about the instructions, though, because as we walk through it, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you the instructions. And when I send out this video, we'll send out the instructions so you'll be able to follow along.
Awesome. So I do want to give a disclaimer here. I am not a chef. I just enjoy to cook. And again, we're going to get started here. We're showing you how to make meatballs. We have a pound of beef. Here in our mixing bowl, we have a number of different things here. So we have a half cup of breadcrumbs. We have a half teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of pepper. And we also have a half cup of Parmesan cheese. So also in the mix here, we are going to add an egg. And I'm actually going to make my dad here do a lot of the dirty work today. That's a great thing about having our assistant or sous chef. He's going to get his hands dirty. So we're going to put into this bowl here with the ground beef our egg, as well as our mixture of other things here.
And so you know, I did wash my hands, but I do have gloves because I want to make sure.
This is freaking out. He don't like to get his hands dirty.
I just want to make sure that we're taking every safety precaution when we make our food because we don't want to get sick from our food.
Right.
And he's absolutely right. I really don't want to get my hands.
We're going to wash our hands again anyway. So, but once he gets these gloves on, he's going to mix everything up real well with these gloves. And then eventually, when he gets done, we're going to go ahead and form these into meatballs. So make sure you get everything there, get the breadcrumbs around there, mixed in.
And see, the good thing about this is something you can do with your family.
Mm-hmm.
You can be in the kitchen with your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, and everybody can get involved. Mm-hmm. And for that young person who wants to play sports, great way to work on your grip.
I'm actually a sports guy myself. I don't know if everybody knows that, if he's mentioned or said anything like that. I wasn't necessarily a cook. How I got started, though, is watching the Food Network at home in between summer workouts. Nothing else to watch on TV. And then I just picked up cooking. So now it's something that I just enjoy to do.
And for some of you who participate in our Kids in the Kitchen program or veteran cooking, you know, this is just another way, you know, that you can learn how to make some meals. And the other side of this is I want you to be confident when you do this that, you know, cooking is not just for young ladies. Everybody can cook.
Yeah.
And everybody can do it well. Good enough?
All right, that's good. So, next, give you a quick little show. That looks pretty firm here.
I did a great job.
He did. He always likes to compliment himself. So, we'll next get our baking sheet here. We did preset our oven to 350. So after we form these into meatballs, nice size, we'll then put these in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. All right, so you got the gloves on. Let's go ahead and still get. I'll get some gloves on too. I'm not actually going to do gloves because
he washed his hands.
I did wash my hands, and I intend to do so again. So just grab a nice amount here. This is enough for two. So you can just see how much I have in my hand here.
And see, I'm more of a perfectionist, so I like to make sure my meatballs are round and tight.
Yeah.
You know, I think the worst thing to do is to cut into a meatball and it falls apart. I think, you know, the presentation of the meal is just as important as the taste of the meal.
You see what I'm dealing with? Like, if I had to cook, it has to be up to par to his standards, so.
Right, it has to look good.
Look good and taste good.
That's right. But if it doesn't look good, who wants to taste it?
So I do want to call out and say that we did add a couple other things in here too. Like I mentioned some ingredients. That was just like the bare minimum. But if you have other things like onion powder, garlic powder, of course you can add that. Italian, I'm a fan of that. Oregano, some basil. But again, we just kind of started out with the basics here.
And also like different size meatballs. You know?
I was about to say,
kind of makes it a little more interesting.
I wasn't sure if he was doing that on purpose or not.
I am. I like variety, you know. So you have the big meatballs and the not so big meatballs, you know.
Well, we just got to.
And see, when I'm sharing with my grandson, the little meatballs come in handy. Mr. McKenzie. But I think the good thing about this is, like I said, I get a chance to spend time with my son. And it's a good thing to do when you get family together, man. Especially now that we can't get out as much. He's grown, as you can see. He doesn't live here.
No, I don't.
So it's always good when he comes to visit. But it's a cool thing, though, that we get to spend time together and do things. And he likes to cook a little more than I do. I think this is my favorite role right here, assisting.
I cook every day, almost like.
Although I'm a good sampler, I love tasting it.
I like to eat, so it's like I got to a point where it was so many things that I wanted to try that I was like, why not make it or figure out how to make it? So, of course, it was like some trial and error, but I feel like I'm at a point now where they actually asked me to cook stuff for Thanksgiving. Like that's.
In one of our shows, we're gonna do mac and cheese. He does. He makes some mean mac and cheese with different types of cheese. It's actually pretty good.
It's a lot of pressure. The mac and cheese means a lot to people.
But again, I think the important thing is this is something you can do at home, and you can do it with family, and you can make it fun. See, we have fun.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we do, we always make sure it's fun.
Right.
He's a bit of a jokester, though. But
we're even competing a little bit right now. I think my meatballs came out a little bit better than his.
He gets that from his mother.
What part? The competitiveness or jokes?
The competitiveness. And jokes.
I was about to say, I don't know.
And jokes.
I think some would say it's a lot of similarities between the two of us.
Yeah, they say that, but it's a natural thing for people to say when fathers and sons. But as you can see, we're not squashing them. We're not making them flat.
Got a nice size.
Yeah.
Generally, most the same size.
So I think we're about to finish up before we put them in the oven.
Again, we say 20, 25 minutes, but again, it just depends on whether or not they're actually done and how large your meatballs are. So potentially, you may end up having to put them in there a little bit longer.
And what I do is, when I actually taste them, I'll make sure that I send you a picture of that as well. But for today, we're just going to teach you how to make meatballs and have fun while you're doing it. So again, it's just basic ingredients you probably have around the house already. You can substitute the meat, the ground beef for turkey. There's different things you can put in it.
Ground turkey's good. Yeah.
My wife actually makes a pretty nice one with chicken.
But I would say with ground turkey, maybe add a little bit more seasoning because it's just needs it. I probably could get 2 out of this.
Yeah. And I don't know if he said it, but make sure you spray your tray or your foil.
Grease it.
Or put some oil on it, something so the meatballs won't stick to the tray. Because the worst thing you want to do is go to get your meatballs out and the bottom is stuck to the tray, so you kind of got ripped up meatballs.
Probably should have said that.
And again, that's me. I'm kind of real picky about what I eat, the presentation. I don't like stuff all chopped up and ripped up. It has to be neat and pristine.
Same presentation, but these meatballs not lined up on this stuff.
Well, they going to the oven.
All right, last one.
Last one.
All right. So we got our,
by the way, he's like this on the basketball court too.
Yeah, I can't help it. Again, this is bright genetics. It's just in me.
Yeah, it is, but
All right.
But so you want to show them the tray since you work so hard to get them lined up.
Yeah, thank you. Still not quite even, but we got our meatballs here. Hopefully we don't lose one. They rolling a little bit. But can you open this oven here for me? Thank you. Alright, so now we are going to set a timer, wash our hands, and in about maybe 25, maybe 30 minutes, we'll have some meatballs, and we have our sauce here. We'll probably put this on the stove for a little bit on low, let it simmer while the meatballs are here. And then once those are done, we can actually put the meatballs in the sauce, maybe make yourself a sub. You can make some pasta, have spaghetti or meatballs, a number of things you can do here. But I really want to wash my hands. As you can see, I'm just standing here like this.
But again, I want to say thank you for joining Cooking with the All-Stars with Mr. Chris and Mr. Chris. See you next week.
See you guys.